Yo, that was good, y'all. We had a couple people still trickling in, but what's going on? Welcome to the Dot Connect Wednesdays. You know what I mean? Today the topic is going to be words are powerful and the 90s tech boom and bust. So you know how real this is. You know, we're gonna tie it all the way into crypto and all that good stuff. You know how we do. But before we get there, I just want to run through something. This was important. Me and Steve was going back and forth earlier today on what the topic should have been, right? And my first inclination was to tell you guys about these exchanges shutting down, right? So instead of it the whole day just being about that, I'm gonna just touch on it and let it be what it be. Because I mean, at this point, it's saturated. We told y'all 100,000 times, right? It's not gonna change. Things are gonna continue to get worse. And there's going to be the same players, whether they're tier one exchanges, which are like the ones that are thought to be highly secure, highly liquid, the main ones. Everybody is up for grabs, right, at this point. So we told you guys with regulations when it first drops, you know, before it even drops, that one of their first targets was going to be stable coins. Just shut me out. Can y'all still hear me? That's weird. So one of their first targets is going to be stable coins. And then now with what happened yesterday, right? Still on the same track with stable coins, but with yesterday, there was Senator Toomey. He came out and he was on everybody's neck. If you follow the Skype page, you guys seen the clip that I posted in the story. Basically, Ethereum is still supposed to be the one, right? Everybody's promoting it, and these guys are still, no matter what happens, they're going to keep trying to throw XRP under the bus, right? They said XRP's name maybe 15 times. On top of that, they kept reinforcing that conversation with, oh, we know XRP is a security. XRP is a security. It kept saying this over and over throughout the whole meeting yesterday. And not only does that do everybody who knows better a disservice, right? What they followed up with that statement was, now we're going after the exchanges who sold XRP. So now these same exchanges that you guys are buying all of your crypto on are in the hot seat, right? So without going too deep into things, the story was everybody who had XRP listed when the SEC dropped this case, everybody started to delist XRP, right? Because it was a security, allegedly, right? As soon as they heard, oh, they're in litigation with the SEC, instantaneously, XRP just started getting delisted from major exchanges, right? So this made acquiring XRP that much harder, right? So now the standard people were going to your Coinbases, which are the United States preferred exchange, right? Where everybody feels like they're safe and secure, and it's still not listed, right? So only certain exchanges have it. But these guys are literally trying to put the nail in the coffin while the case is going on. And they know every other country outside of the United States does not think XRP is a security. They deemed it a commodity, right? Only the United States this is going on. But one of the key takeaways in the sound bites from yesterday's meeting was, what's up with all these exchanges? All of these exchanges are going to be on fire. We need accountability. You know, we need to hold these guys' feet to the fire. And it's all bullshit. But I say all that to say, these are the games that are being played in your faces. And you guys are the retail investors, right? You and me. We put our hard-earned money into these investments, and we go to these same exchanges to acquire our crypto to be able to hold them. Everybody here knows in Skype and crypto, we don't play that shit about leaving your crypto on these exchanges. Excuse my French, but I'm passionate about it. Y'all got to understand that. Keep your crypto off these exchanges. Right now, Coinbase, they're having I guess there's a little debate going on whether Coinbase is officially illiquid or becoming insolvent. because people were allegedly having problems withdrawing their crypto off of Coinbase yesterday, right? I'm getting conflicting information, but long story short, you still shouldn't trust it anyway, because we told you guys a multitude of times, it doesn't matter what exchange or who it is, buy whatever you need to buy, immediately transfer it to your cold storage wallets, right? So I'm not gonna make that long-ended. I just want y'all to understand there was another cryptocurrency exchange yesterday that just announced that they were going under. They're illiquid as well. And it's not one that we recommended, but just to let y'all know, there's multiple exchanges that are going to continue to display the same type of behavior, right? You guys are going to be able to go purchase whatever coins you need to, and then all of a sudden you're going to start seeing news that says, oh yeah, the exchange is shutting down, we're illiquid, and then you can't remove your assets off that exchange, right? So just save yourselves the headache. Make sure you're paying attention to the gems we drop. Get whatever crypto you need. Use reputable exchanges, preferably the ones that we recommended, right? Get whatever you need and immediately get it off. Take no chances with nobody. Nobody's safe, right? So it's your job to have the best safety protocols in place, right? Just secure what you got. The name of, just so you guys know, the name of that exchange is called ZipMex. It's not a big top tier. It's like a tier 3, I think is what they consider it, right? It's like a moderate to low use exchange. Doesn't have a whole lot of liquidity, but you know, it's still another exchange halting withdrawals and citing market conditions. And this is the same excuse that they all use. So just keep your eyes open for that. Steve, you was gonna chime in and say something?
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. We kind of know that, you know, this is like really 101 now. This is what's going to happen, period. So everybody online is already saying, take your coins off the exchange. So once it gets online, it's kind of like, you know, it's played out in this university. We told y'all. Right. Somebody earlier wrote in a message on IG, hit me back after posting it. And the person's reply was, oh, I got most of my stuff off of Coinbase. I'm like, most? What else do you need? You know? Oh, I shut it down. Like, close the account. You know, there's nothing that site could do for me right now. I only utilize Coinbase to purchase, right? It gave high limits. And it was given, you know, fast withdrawals, same day withdrawals on a debit card. That was the only thing. And then, you know, once they changed the rules on that, I think my thing at the time was like 7,500 on debit. I'm about to make a play for 7,500. I do the normal stuff with them. And then they only released 1,000 and they held the other 6,500 for 7 days. I couldn't do anything with it. So it's like, what's the point? You're making, it's a fee-based business. So it's not like you offering free incoming and free outgoing. But what are you holding the funds for 7 days for? And I've watched these guys go through the cycle. Binance, Coinbase Pro, 7 days, then it was 10 days, then it was 2 days, then it was 3 days. It's not fair marketing, you know, market practices. And this is why these guys are going to lose their companies. You know what I'm saying? They just don't know. Like it's just so much open ways to take advantage of people. And then they, you know how they say, you know, to the fullest extent of the law and vice versa, there's a flip side to it. It's like, yo, these guys are doing things that you wouldn't even, like you just know that's the wrong thing to do. You know, price fluctuation, price manipulation. I'm at a 20x on my future calls and I'm only at a 10, but when I'm in a negative, I'm at a 20. When I'm in a positive, I'm at a 6.5. It's like, yo, I mean, what you want me to do, bro? Like, so you think all the numbers, you don't think these exchanges could manipulate a quick price increase to liquidate people? Because I've seen that shit happen a lot to Bitcoin. There's no way you telling me that this price could move so quick across all these major exchanges. This whole thing is like, I told Champ, this there's nothing real on this to me at the end of the day. Because when I look at case use and utility, those aren't the ones where the money is flowing to. So who's making all these companies look great? Yo, they had a field day at our expense, man.
And
They had listen, they had an absolute field day. And guys, this is crazy. Like I'm finding checks I ain't cash. I just want to be super transparent with y'all. And that's not a good thing either. It's just that people still mailing stuff, you know? So I gotta go through my mail. This was drawn against JP Morgan Chase. This is a good one. So the Wayne County of Detroit actually uses JP Morgan Chase to hold their money. The entire city of Detroit. That's a good bag, right?
super.
Yo, I'm done saying get your shit off the exchanges. So if that's the game y'all want to play, then EYL says it every 5 minutes, and it's even people who aren't in crypto are saying it.
Right.
Don't be shocked. Coinbase is gonna hit, right? It's gonna be a big hit, but that's not gonna be the hit. Yeah, we got a big hit coming up. So when I put out the message earlier is that I fear that and I told Champ, I was like, yo, they are going to have to, because you figure once you can crash a market, you can't let money flood in, even with the current retail investors now. So this is where we're gonna start the history in the dot connect, right? So walk with me real quick. 94, 95, we had a new era we were embarking on, right? Internet, tech, computers, Dell, Microsoft, Netscape, AOL. Those were the guys in the room. What did they all have in common at the time? They were all privately owned companies, right? Where's crypto right now? And who owns the crypto companies? They're all privately owned companies. So 94, 95, it was only retail investors like me and you, what we're doing now, invested in those projects. Why? Because the institutional guys were saying the same thing they were saying years ago about crypto. Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's dog food. You've heard it all, right? The institutional guys were not on it. So they missed, because we already had a few different bull markets, right? Remember, Bitcoin was doing what it was doing before it got to 70. It was that thing, people were making money in and out. So the institutional guys in 94, 95 missed out on the early bull run for the internet, right? Cool. The institutional guys currently, and I mean on the masses, so some of them are really orchestrating this situation right here. So they're good. But for the masses, they need the rules at the end of the day. So there's a lot of money sitting on the sideline. We know that for a fact. This thing won't hit anything over 3 trillion on its best day. So 95, they started to discredit this. So now I'm a senior in high school at this time now, right? So my parents aren't teaching me none of this shit, because clearly if I would have known this, you kind of already see the connections. But I picked up, we picked up on this tech very quick, and you guys are still early. So about 95, the tech market started to pull back a little bit. So now it's going into a bear market. Institutional guys started to throw the dirt out a little more, right? Government, everything, the same thing that's panning out here. This is a little more destructive, a lot more destructive. But the news behind, these internet companies was not good when the market started to pull back. So understand, these are paper hands now, right? People that are like, yo, maybe they're right. Maybe that computer won't come out. Whatever they were saying back then, right? So if you want to find the information, go research it and bring it back to the group. I just want to keep it simple. So the market crashes in the mid 90s. Guess who buys up all the paper immediately? Institutional guys. They put $5 trillion inside the market back then. Immediately, $5 trillion went into Dell, Microsoft, AOL, and Netscape. They pumped it right back up again. And not to say that the retail guys didn't make their money, because they were the ones that sold the shares that were out there. So they probably did make money, but they didn't wait long enough for the and I wouldn't even say mass adoption. Remember, we never even talked about mass adoption with crypto products. We've only gotten to the point where we're like, all right, early investor, and then we're waiting for institutional money comes in. But what happens when there's mass adoption? And what do I mean by that? What happens when VeChain is in every vehicle, every product? I'm talking about every product, right? So we just know that if you are the best in what you do, which is one industry for the most part, And then this product comes along that could go into just about any industry, retail component wise, you know, and tracks everything and every component to it, good, bad, or indifferent. The access to information in real time without needing middlemen, right? The honesty and knowing that when I buy a vehicle, I have everything I need on it, right? It's not a private company. It's in the Carfax. Carfax is only as good as a police report that's written out to know that that car has been in an accident. It doesn't make sense, right? So what happens when mass adoption comes? So not only do you sit on these coins early and you wait for institutional money to come in and run it, but then there's the masses have to come, and the masses aren't just the United States. This is all across the world. It's globally.
Global. Mm-hmm.
95, it pulls back. People sold. Tech guys came in, they bought it. Cool. They ran it up. Y'all seen a common thread here? From 95 to 2000, these guys made so much money in tech, right? The bubble built so big. This ain't even a bubble right here. This is nothing more than the institutions knew that these guys had the technology. Google's not building out a blockchain. None of these guys are building out blockchains. They have no interest in it because the amount of just where you at with it is not in their daily practices, right? So they watch these things from a distance. And then some of you guys might ask like, yo, so why are they just, why are these companies, these private companies just allowing this stuff to happen? You don't have any lobbyists. You don't really have any real money. Let's be honest, right? Because when there's a bank run, you're only as good as the amount of money that's coming in.
Straight up.
In crypto. So when you have these institutional guys who run everything, you got to think they run government too. So even if you think you got all the money in the world and you don't need their money or you don't want them on the board, they're telling you, and this is why Ethereum has the board members it has. And this is the only reason that it's living this long. You know what I'm saying? Because, once you have those type of guys there, they influence, they have the SEC, they got these guys in their pocket. So somebody comes to you and they're like, yo, listen, if we want in, or you just don't pass regulations, I mean, you could try that if you want to. But within the next couple months, they're gonna start to parade the celebrities. They're gonna take some major exchanges are gonna come into, they're gonna sue Coinbase. They're gonna bring these guys into court. And this is what's gonna probably kill them, is the amount that they have to spend to pay out, right? Because they're all gonna have to answer. Ethereum's next. ETH is definitely next.
ETHgate, yeah.
It's plain as day. You know what I'm saying? Even politicians weren't even really paying attention to this. And the minute it comes across their desk, they just like, wait a minute. Y'all totally fumble this. What do you think? This wasn't going to come back again? People have made statements. Founders of Ethereum have said that they had public offerings. It's on tape. Why are they still living? Why aren't you holding them to the same standard? One, you say you don't know who the owners are. Bullshit. And then the second one is just like, oh, those two, they have clarity already. How do they have clarity? When was that given? And it's crazy because every company that invites the SEC, because they say it all the time, we'll invite you to have talks with us. Everybody that went in to have talks with them gets sued the next day that they leave out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making no statements, my brother. Period.
Straight up.
Nah, we just wait till the XRP case handles itself. I don't have anything to say to you guys. Mm-hmm. And you saw it already. You saw the exchanges that are willing to sell their soul for anything. And it was right around the Russia invasion when they were like, yo, you got to block the crypto accounts. And I'm like, I said, champ, that's the worst thing they can do. And if you guys want to go back, go listen to the CEO of Kraken. He's out of Germany. You know what he said? First of all, Coinbase was like, yeah, we'll do whatever you say. You don't even got to send us no paperwork. Straight up. Kraken, he's wild. He was like, listen, if that's the game you want to play, this was to the United States. He was like, we would block every United States wallet first for all the war crimes that y'all committed all across the world. I was like, oh. And Champ sees the regulations. He's like, yo, but I can't wrap my head around why is it going to take so long? But he gets it now, right? Because it's just all we talk about is the digital revolution. Look at it. Look at what's happening all across the world. The gold standard is coming back.
Most definitely.
Sidebar. So hold on, and then Champ, you're gonna pick up with the with Russia and Iran and what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 94 to 95, these guys have a field day in tech. We got this coming up. We've had fun times in crypto and shit just terrible right now. You know, but this has just been crypto. And then you see the spike right now, right? Bitcoin 22 could get to, you know, it breaks 25, we're going to 27. You know, that's just peak inflation. So, you know, they having fun right now. You know, you run it up and then you run it down and then it kind of stays stable. They're going to get us through holiday. They have to get us through the election cycle, right? Because nothing worse than a party just going into it with a bad economy. So you might see gas go down to like 40 cents. I'm telling you, man, they got to do something so drastic right before this joint. I'm not telling y'all how to vote, but I'm telling y'all, I need to take a close look at, like, you know, certain things that's going to affect your lives. And if you watch that clip that we put inside of XRP, it was 2 hours of grilling and you kind of see what it is. So, and go look at the people that were doing the grilling, right? And just see what side of the coin they on. So, you know, when you give these votes, it's not because somebody goes on a Breakfast Club with some hot sauce in her purse, you know, because her husband was a sax player who got his dick sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the case. Mm-hmm. You got to look at this, you know, politics is about power. I mean, granted, we've been dealing with shit. So you think these guys are really going to fix something just because they said they would? Come on, man. They can't even get the white supremacy shit down packed. It is what it is. Label it. You wanted to stop. What were we talking about? You said you would. This chick goes to HBCU. She pledges, and they cut the budget by a lot. And the last administration poured the money in by a lot. There was no other administration that poured that much money into HBCUs. So you telling me the vice president of the United States with that sort of affiliation allows that stuff to happen? All right. I keep parading this shit like it's a joke. And I'm not on that other side either. I play both. You know, if it comes down to money, then cool. And then, you know, I just don't like people to suffer, but I think you got to pull the plug. And if we all did what we did here, you know, because the other side just says, listen, you don't turn to government for help. All right, that makes sense. But we got to be able to rock with each other. And let's pause it there. So 95 to 2000, they had fun. And then we had the tech bubble. Guys, this is the exact same shit that's going to happen now. You're going to let these institutional guys come in and push you out. You know, anybody that can make it through this crypto winter, right? Anybody that can make it through this crypto winter and not sell and be strong and rooted. And at the end of the day, what the fuck are you going to do when you sell the XRP you just bought at 34 cents? Let's be honest, guys. What are you going to do? At the least, I can guarantee it goes back to $1 at the least, if that's the game you want to play. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But be smart with it. But I just told Champ, I feel like they're going to suppress. If you think they're going to suppress the votes and all that in this next coming election, just wait till you see what they're going to do to crypto. Because I've seen times where you couldn't buy or sell. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, it's not enough XRP to go around right now. They're not going to want that thing to hit those exchanges like that right away. I don't know, bro. I got a different take on that one. I'm buying XRP now. I'm not waiting for no 29. I don't care at this point. My basis is like dumb. I can't even track it no more. That's how early I got into it. Mm-hmm. So to me, you know, at 30 something cents, it's a steal. 2 cents on VeChain. I came in at 20. I'm like 20 something cents on VeChain. Like this, you guys are like bargain basement. So you're not putting $100 behind this or treating some of this stuff like a savings account. Okay.
Yep. And Frugal came through with the drop. You can buy XRP on the Ledger Live. You are absolutely right. I showed you guys a couple of days ago. You can buy. There was a video for everybody who follows us on socials. We dropped. There's you can buy it directly on the DEX as well on the XRP Ledger. They got their own decentralized application It's called On XRP. The only limitation with that is you have to buy something that's already listed on that exchange as a trading pair. So it's going to be all projects that's XRP ledger based. So that's the only downfall. But just to let y'all know, there's always an option for you. And if all these exchanges shut down, you still can't be stopped as long as you have intellectual property, which is what we give you guys. You have the knowledge. It's called On XRP. And I'll drop the link so you guys can, you can use it. But, just get what you need to get now while you can use these regular exchanges.
Listen, so they ran it 95 to 2000, they ran it, right? But what they did was in 95 is they created fear. The same thing's happening now, only now you have a lot more progressive multimillionaires, right? Institutional guys aren't all the same. You got Mark Cuban is very different from, some of the older guys in the space. So you're starting to see, younger guys who are just on some like, well, whatever, man. Like, they don't subscribe to that. When he likes what he likes, and he'll tell you that he loves the space, he knows the importance of this space in the future. The other guys just can't sell you on that because they don't have ownership or control over anything in that moment. So we're at that point now where it's fear. But the good part about the fear is it's not even like they haven't even started to fear the situation. It's really just bad actors and bad practices. Like you literally just went out and committed a crime without a mask on. That's like easy to grab. It's like, BT.com talks about it. This shit is just that simple. This kid, Terra Luna, he could be on like a 9.0 and come off with a bill every time till regulations come in. That boy gonna be locked up in Korea. South Korea is gonna lock him up. They're gonna lock him up. Yeah, so we're at that point now, guys. So I'm just this was really to connect the mid 90s understanding, like when companies are private, that's a good space. But the minute you go public, it becomes like somebody else's machine, and Twitter, you see what's happening right here. I mean, what happens? Is there a number that's big enough to where you think you were going to work forever and keep your company private? Like these checks be big, man. Like you're not going to go public. Like you're not going to take that sort of money to take you to wherever it's going to go, or that is there not an amount to buy us out of anything that we feel should be deemed fit for the culture. They do it with hip hop. They do it with clothing, social media platforms right now. I'm advocating for this fan base situation.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't get it together, right? Which is the segue into part 2 with words of power and how this all started. So Herman posted something the other day, and it was about the classic line, I can't fuck with black people, right? The support situation. And he ends it with, the words of power. And then the more I started to think about it, I'm like, shit, you know what? I've been guilty of that, right? And I've had a lot of product that was only for black people. So I had a product back in the day called Buy Black. We were living in New York at the time. I was on a nightclub scene, and I started a thing called like the nightclub Direct Connect or something, Direct Connect. It was a phone number that you called in, and you can press, 1 for hip hop, 2 for whatever, 1 for Monday, so every night of the week, through a recorded prompt, you can find out what clubs were rocking. So this is when we just started to have phones, right? So mind you guys, I'm like ahead of the curve right now. Websites were still done in Flash. This was a while ago. So I was like, damn, you can call up a phone number while you out. And I had Latin night. So I was just closing deals, So that was one of my first products in New York City. So that ended up spawning off of like, there's so many black businesses and we don't know how to get to them. Modern day today is the green book, right? So back in the day, you needed the green book. When you were traveling through all these states, you had to know, because you couldn't sleep nowhere else. It had to be a black hotel or a black restaurant, black restroom. And so I start this thing called Buy Black in New York, and I'm you know, closing deals with store owners, and I created a card that people can go and they can patronize the stores, right? So I'm building my marketing company, but still doing this humanitarian work that I just saw as a need at the time. Now it's making sense. So nobody could tell me anything about like pouring into Black people. So what happens? The phone rings one day. It's WBLS. It's the biggest Black-owned radio station in New York. Yo, we like that product. We want a meeting. What I do, I rounded up all my people. I'm like, yo, let's go. We going to WBLS. I could have easily took that meeting by myself with my wife. I brought so many people in that room that rocked with me. That weren't even part of the company. Just like, yo, friend, like, yo, we doing this together. So we get to talking. You know, they stay talking a good one, and then we don't hear anything back from them. And then on the radio one day, we hear the fucking product. I'm like, oh my God. So they saw us coming from a mile away. You know, we were just all young. They didn't even use us to even get it going to then grab it. They didn't even last a month doing it. And that's what all the radio advertisement that they put out. The shit just, it ceased. Right? Because it wasn't built on something. It wasn't, the foundation wasn't right. You know, they, you know, whoever was around me was like, that shit's not going to work. That's just bad energy that they put out. But, you know, I didn't add to, oh, I don't fuck with Black people, or it's just bad business. Right. So where I say we have to be mindful with words is one of the things that I did spread, and I've said this a lot, and I want to take it back, was by 2050, the net worth of African Americans would be zero. Fuck out of here, man. I don't even want to hear that shit. Even if I got to carry this motherfucker and have $2 trillion, you know what I'm saying? And have a whole XRP army behind me with hundreds of millions. And then we just do the laws of average. Fuck that. That's Straight. Not going to happen on my shift. I ain't ready to kick my feet up yet. Right. So cool. The second largest, well, African American women made up, they were the #1 class of new business owners in the last year. So what are we talking about right now? What you focus on expands, right? So I'm sitting here telling other people by 2050, we're going to be broke as like zero net worth. So that means I'm part of this problem. It's the information they put out there. We grab it. Right. And then my holistic guy, he's talking. So I'm connecting all these dots within a minute. Listen, guys, when you can breathe and you can just chill and calm your mind, you start hearing things differently. Right. When you're coming from a place of scarcity and fear, you know, come on, what sort of decision you think you're gonna make? It's always snakes in your basement. What the fuck you talking about? This is literally how they have us living. My back is killing me. My stomach is killing me. Like, yo, be careful. You know what I mean? Be careful. Because that's the exact thing that's killing you. You're reinforcing the message. I used to sit, so this is right after my lawsuit. It was a bad time when I was living in Jersey. So I had a partner living in Harlem, and I just to get out the house, have to go traveling there. But if anybody knows like Jersey City to get into Manhattan, so whether it be you choose the Lincoln Tunnel, and I was closer to the Holland Tunnel, the fee to get through those tunnels are crazy. Not only that, but at the time when you playing with small money and you going through these tunnels, the Easy Pass has this algorithm that's fucked up. It will pull like $500 one month in advance payment. And you might only spend $100. You know, so I'm going through all of this stuff around that time. You know, I'm hustling, you know, to get things back to where, you know, to where they need to be. You know, now you look back on it and it's like, yo, this is what it definitely may be me. And I wouldn't have it no other way, but I wouldn't want nobody else to go through this shit either. Because that's not for everybody. So, and this is why we tell you guys to get the shit off the exchanges. We can play dumb because the industry was built on nonsense, you know? So it was kind of like, we were just on the ride. So we just had to figure out when to get off the ride. But when we started the university, we never really passed that we wasn't passing out of that ball. People came to me, NFTs, this, that, they and I seen how fast they were trying to get in and out. And I was like, no, I'm not the guy for that. That's why a lot of people didn't sign up, because it was just like, yo, I'm not the guy for that. We could have had them in all sorts of craziness, and some would have hit, and some didn't. There was no rhyme or reason to it. So, back to the words of power. I can't stress that enough, guys. We got to be very careful with how we say things, and especially how we just have a viewpoint on just us as a collective. So no, by 2050, if you're telling me that African American women make up the most new entrepreneurs in the last year, it can't be possible. And then the second largest group of millionaires in the country that rose by 14% was African Americans, second to who, right? And they just be cheating, and that's the only reason. Because straight up, if this playing field was level, man, listen, it wouldn't even be please, they could have the sci-fi world. They do, they do a hell of a bit. But who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows how much imagination we got that hasn't been like, because the more I dig into my history, you start to realize that these superheroes weren't even like who they were. And that's why the critical race theory thing is big, and Twitter, you're in education, and I love to get your take on it. But I'm like, guys, these ain't our institutions. So what the fuck are you making a big thing about this for? We got a huge private sector. We have a huge private sector. You just tell your kids, listen, from 3:30 to 4:30, sit the fuck over here. You know what I'm saying? You supplement it. But it goes deeper than that. It's not as easy as I make it seem. But go ahead, Twit.
I mean, the first thing you got to think about is how nobody stays back anymore. Like, there's absolutely no accountability for these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thing. That's a setup in itself. And that's why you got a lot of entitlement from these kids now. They don't respect authority. They don't want to learn shit. All they want to do is, get handouts, because that's what they've been getting all their life, man. We got to, get some like principles back in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the culture needs. We need principles. We need people that's going to hold everybody accountable for doing their part, and not just looking for a handout thinking this life just going to come. And that we can trust, the people in charge, honestly, that too. Because everybody gullible. Don't nobody think that crypto's coming back. If people are like, it's people that, that's making fun of crypto. Like, oh man, y'all lost all this money. Like, you understand, like, it's a cycle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just little stuff like that, man. I feel you, man. It's a big I won't say conspiracy, but it's a plan. It's a strategy that they've had in place for a long time, man. And it's definitely gonna be a time for haves and have-nots real soon. And we got to make sure we got our tribes together, so we can depend on each other and work together to make sure we get through it.
Listen, this is what they call a barbell economy, right? So when you look at a barbell, it's skinny in the middle, which represents the middle class, and then I don't care what side you weight it on, it's rich or poor, right? It's middle class and it's rich or poor. So you got to pick a side down. This is dwindling. This is dwindling right now. So you got to ask yourself which side you want to be on. But they've put so much shit in our way. It could defeat us too. Like, they'll say, X percentage of such and such, and less than 1% of the private money goes out to minority, Black investors. And listen, minority, they took that word over. So minority is could be a white male in America. Straight up. So once you hear that, just that gigs up. So you see what I'm saying? It's like,
the affirmative action era is dwindling for real.
Come on, man. They're not even trying to hide the shit anymore.
Yep.
Right. So now it's like, okay, so what's the excuse now? Before, you go, oh, they're playing some tricks on me, or you might think it is, but you don't want to think that deep. Now they're telling you, they're telling you what they're doing. They're telling you what they want to do. So if that's not enough to, and to be honest, when the last guy came on board, he actually brought a lot more of us together as just African Americans. I'm just going to speak from like just in the real estate development world. Like, we sought out to look for each other on Instagram to connect. And that was only because of that, because in those times it was just like, yo, nah, because we always used to look at like our white counterparts. you know, for inspiration. Like, oh yeah, Grant Cardone hops out his plane and then his car's parked in front of his jet, and he's this fucking guy, man. Please, man. What's the other guy we looked at today? Manny
Koshman.
Come on. You know, I mean, these guys live lavish lifestyles. They do big things in commercial real estate and things like that. But when they come down to this level here, to sell people product, you know, to sell a lifestyle and wrap it around their companies to raise capital, I'm like, yo, that's some bullshit right there, because they will not do nothing in the hood at the end of the day when they giving you 8% return on your money, whatever they tote and advertise.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know what your money is working towards, you know, and that shit might be just paying for his lifestyle, you know, for him to just be marketing all goddamn day. I got a lot of his products and I don't dislike him. I'm just, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. That's not my play to go, you know, buy stuff outside the community and then, you know, toss that stuff around. But yeah, I do want a project or two like that. When you look at, you know, Peebles, the black real estate developer doing that, the tallest building in New York, you know, and there's an African-American investor that's a female that's in on that project too. You know, those are the stories. Those are the things they don't want you to see or hear. So it's like, if this type of stuff happens every day and we have people doing tremendous things in these spaces, how come no one's talking about them?
Yeah, that's crazy. Don Peebles.
And even with Don Peebles, so I've been following him for a while and, you know, try to get into his situation. And you know, you go to try to submit a deal to their firm because they work with young, you know, I hear this, oh, wow, yeah. Young African-American developers, you can come load up your project and, you know, they have the funding and everything. And I went over there and I'm like, the minimum project amount was like, I was like, wait a minute, what? You know, and I'm not going to downplay myself, but it's one of those, like, and they tell you like, yo, think bigger, go home. And it's more like, I get what you guys are doing, but there's some good work that needs to be done here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not enough for you to keep, you know, pushing the envelope in the way that you push it. And then you got these communities where a lot of young African-American developers are actually trying to put things together to do affordable housing. You know, invest in that. And you keep doing your buildings, but don't make the minimum, you know, situation what it is.
Yeah.
And that's Grant Cardone's thing too. And yeah, I battle with that. Like, they're like, yo, just go bigger. You know how to analyze it. It's all the same. Okay, you just put an extra zero behind it. This is how these guys talk. But yeah, that'll work for me. You know, that'll definitely work for me. But how do you teach somebody that? And you know the shit ain't for everybody. Even the fix and flip, and as you guys watch me do this process, it's not going to be for everybody. And I have an opportunity for those of you who didn't sign up for the course. You can look in on the deal. So I've already loaded. You know, we have a channel for the actual house that I'm putting together now. And I have stage 1 would be analyzing and funding. So I bring you through everything that I'm doing right now to get to the finish line. I'm showing my deposit receipts, all that. And then I'm also giving you documents that I'm using to submit my information to for my loan guy. You know, so when it talks about what's your experience, and you have to list all the flips and holes and rentals that you have currently on a sheet, I'm giving you access to that. So as you're looking at it, you can pull the information and you got the exact steps. I mean, come on, what's better than that? And I've had this course for a while, I've been sitting on it, but it was one of those where it's like, I didn't want to put it out at the time because first I had to get through the crypto situation. I felt that people listen more for crypto because at the time the real estate was like everybody was teaching, you know, real estate at the time. And I didn't like what I was seeing. And I was looking at the pricing of everything. I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna come out at the worst possible time. You know, and it's exactly what happened. Once real estate starts to go down the drain, and you know, Twitter, you talk about these guys and these people that are making fun of crypto. They fucking been doing this. Mm-hmm. They've been doing it since Bitcoin hit 70,000. you know, and they just forget how many people actually pulled money out, right? Not everybody just stayed in there. And even the people that stayed in, they probably, you know, their basis is probably so low. It's not that's like XRP getting to $5 and everybody's like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then it gets down to 2 and they're like, oh, you should have sold. And it gets back to, 50,000. And it's like, who has egg on their face?
Right. People buying in at 6 cents and 5
I
cents.
don't pay mind to people like that, man. Because if words are powerful and you sitting here making fun of somebody that's losing money, you a buffoon, man. That shit is mad whack. I'm too old for that shit. Scram. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't be sitting here like, ha ha, look at this check. You know, like, whatever. You'll know. You might know. You'll definitely know the price, and you might assume, where was what. We got a conversation about it. Yeah, scram, man. You just got to use it like an old school word for them. Like, they don't even know what it is.
Straight up. Yeah,
these people built differently, man. I'm not even gonna hold you. They're built differently. We came up in a day where you was tasting blood in your mouth.
Straight up.
That's from a young age. So, I come from that era. You got to stay in this box. You can't get out of it. That's how we fought. But I'm not here to do all this shit with these guys, man. They sensitive, that shit different.
And
I'm just here to speak the truth. And the fact that it's I'm cool. Go ahead, champ. They just got to scram, man. Scram. Put that on the t-shirt.
Real talk. Scram. Nah, these guys perpetuate the nonsense, man. And this is what they do. It's like, if you ever notice, like, I want you guys to watch, because I know a lot of you guys are new to crypto, right? When we tell you the fear and greed index is like super red, right? Anytime the market dips, anytime, you'll see the fear and greed index. You'll see it say, max fear, right? This is the time where everything is dropping. Prices are coming back down. We getting just the sentiment overall in the market is low. Everybody's scared, right? Anytime the market dips, people are gonna get scared, right? But watch it at that exact moment. This is when you start to see, your favorite rappers coming out saying, Bitcoin is trash. Crypto is trash. What's up with all that crypto millionaire talk and all that? I mean, without saying names, you kind of know who I'm talking about, right? Anybody who pays attention, you know who I'm referring to. But these guys do this purposefully, right? And then you see, when you turn on CNBC, then you see your Jim Cramers, right? Then you see your money talk guys. All these guys come out of the woodworks and they bash crypto again. But you were silent, completely crickets, when everything was running up, when everything was to the green. This is what they do, right? The same thing Steve started off the call with was they did this with the .com era when it was boom and bust. This is what they do: perpetuate it, give fear, create this atmosphere in the markets, and then they come in, they accumulate, and then they get quiet again. Right? That's the play. And they're gonna continuously do this. Absolutely. They like to skip basis to the financial game. Nah, that's real, man. That's the thing. This is why we prepare you guys above all things. First and foremost is mindset, right? First day, everybody who took the boot camp, that's why it's the first day. Because if you come into this space and we just dump information on you, yeah, you might get it. It might resonate exactly the same, right? But if you don't have a proper mindset to be able to decipher through all the misinformation that's being spread and it's calculated, you're going to be one of the victims. You're going to be one of the people that miss out, no matter how much you've been in place, no matter what course you took, right? Without that mindset, you're going to fail. But this is what these guys do. And that's why it was so important for Steve to kind of lay that out for you, right? Because, think about it. I'm 37. So we talking about the 90s tech boom. I was still young. In the 90s, shit, at 1990, I was 5. You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't have that era, and my family didn't put me on nothing when it came to the internet and all that stuff. My family ain't have no clue. They wasn't investing in none of that. So it was over the head. I was a user, right? Like everybody else. I'm in school, we got computer classes and everybody started getting computers, and now you're able to use it, type stuff, surf the web, you know what I mean? But now look at things. It's the same exact process, just a different market. And here's one of the things. These people are telling you, yo, crypto is trash. It's over for that. All right. So check this out. Just today, it was announced that, pull the article up. Just today, it was announced that Iran signed, no, I take that back. It was yesterday evening. Iran signs a multi-billion-dollar oil and gas agreement with Russia. It is the largest deal ever for that country. You know what Russia's currency is backed by? Gold. You know what else is going on right now in front of everybody's faces? I told you guys a couple meetings ago about Brics Nations, BRICS, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America. All of these nations, and now there's a couple others that have been requesting to become part of the Brics Nations. They're all backing their currencies with gold.
Texas and Florida.
So when Steve just told y'all we going back to the gold standard, we knew this for years. Judy Shelton was a big gold bug. She was telling everybody when Trump was still in office, we going to the gold standard at some point. They're devaluing the currency on purpose. This is financial war games they playing, right? But this is already pre-planned out. They plan this shit years and years and years before all of this is starting to happen. It's just now it's being executed. If you look at the power of the dollar over the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you see it. It's a constant decline. They knew they was going to do this, but how else would you return value to something that's depreciating? You either completely run it into the ground or you back it with something of substantial value, right? And then now all of these other countries in the Brics Nations, what I'm trying to tell you guys is these guys are trying to circumvent the United States dollar as the global reserve currency. They don't care about that no more, right? They like, yo, it's over for that. We're going to use our own currency. We're going to use our own crypto. We're going to back our own currencies with gold, and we're going to transact. That's why you're starting to see everybody move away from the dollar. But you got moves, and I ain't even going to go too deep into that because it's going to spiral, and I'm going to keep taking y'all deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole, right? But one of the guys that just got appointed, we got control of the Federal Reserve, right? He's the vice chair of supervision for the board of governors of the Federal Reserve. That's Michael Barr. Michael Barr was on the Ripple board. I want y'all to think about that. Do you know what the Federal Reserve does? They print money. They're responsible for the money. It used to be DTCC. Now, it's all about these guys printing the bread. So if these are the money guys who are printing the money, and this guy, he's above the Federal Reserve, he's the vice chair, he's the go-to, right? So when he's the go-to, this guy was on the Ripple board. Why would somebody from the Ripple board get a supervisory position over the Federal Reserve, the people who are in charge of your money? They already know what's about to happen. They already know who's in place. So when we telling y'all, it's two sides to this. You can invest in Ripple on the stock side. You can invest in XRP, the cryptocurrency that Ripple, the company, utilizes in their product offerings, right? And their customers' primary base are financial institutions. Everything ties back to Ripple in some sort of way when it comes to money. So we're positioning y'all to get right. But all in all, don't just get caught up in, oh, Champion Steve said, go buy XRP. Think about this shit, because the dopest part about all of it is you're seeing the transition to a new global standard of how you transact money and currency back and forth is literally unfolding in your face. So when people laugh and talk shit about crypto, okay, when you got CBDCs that's being launched and released. This has been in place since 2019. You know who was the host of that meeting in Davos? Ripple. You know how CBDCs is going to be transacted? On the XRP ledger. Come on, man. This shit is real. And I'll take y'all down. I'm telling you, we'll be here for like 5-6 hours. I run it. But it's like, yo, I just want y'all to understand this is the short version. You got to do more than just hear what we're saying. You got to literally start to connect these pieces.
Yeah, let me add this. My bad. Let me add this here too, man. One of the reasons why I'm so like dialed in is because I worked for one of the first companies, you know, that started the last recession. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I worked for a private, you know, mortgage bank. And basically they went out of business like right after Christmas 2006. Remember the recession that started 2008. And then right after that, like the top salespeople, we went over to Lehman. You know, Lehman went out, you know, a year and a half later. So I was in the middle of all that, had no idea, 23 years old at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I missed all that. I was in the middle of it, but I had no idea what to do. I had no idea how to maneuver. Now we in it right now. It's another shift. It's an even bigger shift. You know what I'm saying? And that was a way for them to get money as well back then. So, you know, it's gonna happen. It's already happened plenty of times. Like you just said, the 90s. Every recession is kind of a reset of the whole system. And this is like a huge reset that's been in the making for a long time.
Absolutely.
So, and the same thing happens with every single one of these cycles. The people that know, because the information is out there. It's just we didn't care to know. But I'm pretty sure it was being talked about. And now it's social media, so shit gets out that probably they don't want to get out. But that's just the culture we live in. So they did the same thing. So when you think about the 95 to 2000, when they ran that up on the institution side, then 08, 09, the housing crash, who was buying everything in 10? Nobody could get a mortgage in 10. They weren't even lending in Detroit and parts of Michigan, all over. So in 10, all these institutional guys came in and they bought up all the real estate. Here's another dot connect, right? So the real estate market's going to crash. You got to... I mean, they're right. There's a correction coming, but Wall Street is still sitting on that the old cribs from back then, right? People were buying like oceanfront land in Florida at that time, you know, and all that shit is built now. So who can weather these storms like this and not be in panic mode or not have to like sacrifice time just to make money? So not only do these guys have a playbook for this, you know, they're constantly moving it here and moving it there. And trust me, if we would have planted seeds 10 years ago, it'd be a lot different for us today. So when shit gets into panic mode, you got so much shit that's growing, you know, you chop a couple of that off to get some capital. And when you play the money game, you know, you don't have to use your money. So you have favorable terms. You know, that guy I'm watching his video, he's the big commercial real estate guy. This guy has every Bugatti in the world, right? He lives a wild lifestyle. If that is it, and I'm not questioning that, it's not it. But now he wants to teach people how to, you know, invest in commercial real estate like today, right? That's a whole different animal in itself. You know, then he's telling you, oh, he's got 400,000 or what is it, 4 million in unsecured, you know, debt. And he ends up just doing that. And he did a few things. He paved the driveway and then he sold it, you know, and profited like 2 mil. And I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, man, that's a compelling story. You know, he's not from the country. He came here, he didn't know English. So it's like, what's your excuse? You know, so that sales pitch was hard. You know, but I'm like, man, ain't no substance behind that shit. Like, yo, you know, these guys, they go through thousands of deals that they underwrite to find that one deal. You know, that shit is a needle in a haystack. Those things aren't like laying around all day. Anything that's like for sale is really not a great deal. You know, when you think about it, because there's a lot of off-market things that happen that none of us know about. And that's where it's like, yo, listen, I don't need my business out there, but yo, and then it's a cash number, you know, someone who's in, and you got to think a lot of guys are tied to a lot of things. So if you start selling things off on the open market and people start connecting the dots, they start to get a little bit worried. Like, yo, what's happening? Why is he liquidating? Like you said, your company went out before right? People knew clearly what was happening before the rug got pulled.
Yeah, I'll say this too. Like I said, right after Christmas, we had a company Christmas party, and like all the managers, they were huddled up the whole time, and they were kind of having that conversation. What's going on? What's going on? And then like a week later, all of our warehouse lines. I had a closing coming up. My broker's calling me like, where's our money? What's going on? What's going on? And that's when we knew shit hit the fan because they shut off our warehouse lines. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people know beforehand. They know when it's getting hot. You know, it's just you got to be in the rooms to be able to prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, immediately once they said we're going out of business, all our managers was like they were brokering the deal to get us a new job. So they already knew behind the scenes. They were like, all right, well, let's call some people. Let's make some calls to make sure that, you know, we can get picked up because we got value in our team. So, I mean, you just, it's always backdoor deals going. It's always stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, yo, listen, I'm not trying to be like trying to figure out this new economy and have another product, man. This crypto shit is like, you know, could really be life changing where you know, you're not just doing things because you want to, you know, you have to do it. There's a difference. You know, I'm not going to sit around and sleep all day either, but some of this shit is like bullshit, man. Like you know, and not anything against the what I'm doing here, but like I'm teaching crypto. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't in my fucking plans. So I'm just flowing with however it's coming, but I do know that every time I played rigid, I end up losing my pants. You know, so this is the first time that I'm really like happy. You know what I'm saying? Like less money, but happier. And then more money and erratic. I was showing Champ, and we taped it too. So I was showing him our old brokerage in New York and the business, you know, and I say like I'm not even trying to be on that type of shit. Like I was the only one like having to process all this work. And it got to a point where there was times where I was just like, you know what, I don't want to do any deals. And they were paying, you know, easy $17,000, like simple, but it just became a lot. And then you look back and I'm like, you know, I could never be swayed for no amount of money to do some shit that I'm just not enjoying. It's just not in my character. I had full control of that. I could, you know, Champ sees it and open that shit right back up again after 2-3 years. And just keep it, you know, open and closed. So I say that to say like, yo, we do too much shit for money. You know, we do entirely too much for this shit. And we can't hold it. We don't know how to grow it. We get upset when we lose it. It controls, you know, the way you feel. I'm off that, man. I broke up with that concept a long time ago. You know, and then, you know, you see all the messaging out there, you get grinding and, you know, words are powerful, right? Grinding. Just think about that. I'm grinding, I'm hustling. Come on, man. What's the definitions of those things?
Oppressive, seemingly without end, harsh and grating. The reduction of something to small particles by crushing it. Come on, man.
See that shit? So even when you think you're crushing it, that's not even the right one.
Right.
You get to a point where there's nothing left, right? And this is what happens, right? You end up, you know, you build these companies and then tech comes in or something just changes and shifts and you can't change with it. Our pivot game is horrible, but where we have to pick up is you've got to just start studying what happened prior. You know, just think about it. This story happened already. And then there's going to be a new technology, you know, 20 years from now. And, you know, as long as you could tell the next generation to just keep your ears open, man. Just always be on the lookout for like new information and question everything. I just got the least amount of distractions in my life right now. You know, before it was always felt like you needed to be somewhere, Vegas, here, there, you know, I'm just talking about the local shit. Like, you know, this holiday, it's like, yo, they had so much shit wrapped around us. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Father's Day, like it's all types of shit going on. You know, and all of it's there for one thing, is to stimulate the economy, right? Nobody's really doing this shit because they really want to do it. It's just we programmed to just spend. We programmed to spend. I don't know, man. These words, man, we gotta do better with this stuff, man. Take a beat before you start, applying, putting certain things out there. You got to be careful what you ask for too, because $1 billion drop in your lap, you don't even know the half of the problems that these guys go through. So I had a friend who, they were chef, celebrity and higher end clientele. They were chefs for these guys. You hear the stories of the stuff coming out those households, man. It's like that shit ain't wired right. So you got to be careful, like, these kids have there's so many decisions for them to make. Like, all right, there's 11 rain boots to choose from. There's, what do you want for breakfast? You could have, it ends up like working in the reverse because there's so many options, you want everything. And that grows into its own problem. Where you wake up in the morning and there's like a horse head on your doorstep. Like this type of shit is crazy. Or they fly him to, wherever they're going, and he would go on a separate jet, and he has a bag, and it's like, what's in the bag? It's like everybody's like party items. You know what I'm saying? The whole house on medication. Everybody, the dog too. Yo, I'm like, when I started hearing that stuff, I'm like, man, I mean, I'm not built like that, but you just never know, you don't know what that shit comes with. So be careful what you ask for, man. Some of these properties I've seen, you have like house managers. There's like a staff for like 20 something people at your house all day. Who the fuck wants that? I'm cool. Like, nah, give me what I need. Don't fuck the XRP bag up. So I had to kind of bring this around again. And this is where I'm going with this. Like whatever you make off of crypto, don't do dumb shit with it, man. When I say dumb shit, meaning, and I'm not saying don't splurge, but there's a lot of things out here. Back in the day, I never would have thought they'd be like $1 million car. And I love cars. And when I start seeing the prices of these things, I'm like, holy shit. Like, where is this shit going at this point? $2 million, 2.4. Wow. I mean, collectibles, yes, but cars coming out to year, 3 million. Like, it's just, I mean, what can't they do? I mean, we got to find a way to just create more with it. That's a lot of power in having that sort of wealth. So they're talking about a surge of like new Rockefellers and like that echelon of things that are happening, guys. When you start to, and if anybody did the boot camp, go put $100 trillion into the market and then spread it out amongst 200 projects, or just say, even if you said Bitcoin dominance was at 40% at the time, and do the math on that. Put $50 trillion in Bitcoin, $100 trillion in Bitcoin, and see what the price looks like. And then do the same math and put $50 trillion inside of XRP and tell me what that price comes out to. And there'll be other factors, at this point, maybe Champ was saying XRP is going to be a reserve currency.
Hello.
And the United States is going to, that's what it's going to be back behind. And the whole world needs this ledger. So is that not the leverage for the world, a San Francisco owned company?
That would sound too much like right.
Man, stop fucking playing around and go buy that goddamn coin.
It would sound too
Pull
much
it off
like
the
right.
exchange. You know what I'm saying? Overnight the ledger and just get the ledger here before you commit to getting the coin.
Straight up.
Does it not sound like a reserve currency? And they're gonna need it. So, all right, I got it. What you want to do?
Straight up.
What you want to do? All of it. And I'm a whole probably 1,000. I'm gonna keep 1,000 at the top.
Just because.
Yeah, I won't even know the code to the safe for that one. I just give it to the kids. Like, yo, listen, y'all always remember this one. It could be nothing, or it could be like something really crazy. I mean, we just really here to give y'all information. This shit, you got to watch that 2-hour situation on that. I'm not endorsing the kid that put the video together because they sell other things. So don't click on links and be the fuck careful. especially when you start using them hashtags, and they're taking people off of Instagram that have XRP in their
bios and all
bio.
that. Yep.
Yeah, so that hashtag ain't even working, guys. And my viewership numbers have been down like tremendously. So I don't know what I said the other day, but
now he's shadow banned with me.
yeah, White Wizard ain't like that. I'm like, wait, I might as well not even post at this point.
Straight up.
That's cool. Yeah, they wilding, man. Rodney, this shit dumb, bro. This is like the worst basketball call in the history of all calls, man. This movie is so bad, and I didn't even sign up for this shit. I did not sign up for this, bro. This election cycle is gonna be crazy. That's gonna be entertaining. Connect Wednesdays is just gonna be about politics when this election cycle comes. And then politics in the sense of breaking down like where they stand with certain topics and policies that only matter to us.
I'll add this in here about the politics real quick. I don't know if y'all listen to Andy Frisella podcast. But that's one of the podcasts I listen to. It's so I do. His co-host is a black dude, but I mean, they really got me off of the all right, black people Democratic type deal. They got me more looking at the progressive side and understand it's not really about progressive. It's really about rejecting the establishment politicians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, because at the end of the day, everybody, there's a certain group that's just they have a plan and they're working towards fulfilling that plan from there. So we just got to infiltrate that very top, maybe 2,000 5,000 people at the most that's just working this plan, that the COVID thing, all that stuff. Like it's all a process. And when we go to try to do the elections the next time, man, we just got to look for people that's not a part of that system. That people that's like really just like looking to help actually regular people, not just be a career politician and hoard power. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really a side to pick. It's really, we just got to get the people in there that can help like break down that system and intervene in what's working, what they got going on.
I mean, ultimately,
right.
people
It's
going to
green.
do that. Yeah.
It's green. Yeah, it's all about that. Like, listen, this is a financial warfare, man. That's the only game these guys respect, man.
Yep.
They don't respect violence, man. Violence, what? They built for that.
Definitely don't respect damn marching and protest and shit.
What? They don't care about none of that.
Own something. If you really want to protest, own something and use your leverage there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to catch me? Yeah, I ain't doing a protest. I'm good on that. That ain't gonna help. Waste of time. Go build your business.
These are the times for expansion, man. You just gotta do things bigger. We gotta, the Ice Cube situation was the right situation.
Absolutely.
And you see the heat that he got from that, from our own people, right? So you can't say the white man blockchain honest situation like black people. Black dudes hate that on the internet. I don't know where these weirdos come from.
They was on your neck.
Man, that shit dumb.
I was in the square.
The champ was going in there. I'm like, nah, I'm out of that one. Do not shadow box with a mosquito. You fucking blow your shoulder out, man. Scram. Yo. Scram. Yeah, so they killed this guy that had a plan. It was a simple act. Like, yo, what are you, we got to hold you accountable. But that shit is dumb, man. This is not for all of us to make it, right? Clearly. And we just have to do a better job of putting the smart guys in the room and pushing for the right things, right? So the more we buy into the entertainers, then they'll always hit that Forbes list and they should be lit. It's like that has to change. And it's time for them to take accountability for it too and step back a little bit to utilize their platform. If they're not owned, then that's the biggest problem. When you're being, when somebody's actually paying you that much money, there's going to be some acts that come along with that shit. So again, I pull back when I'm making too much just for my mental health. And that's just with my own company. So you're talking about somebody feeding somebody every day. You're not just gonna go to this man's house every fucking day to go pick up your meal. And I'm not discrediting working for people. Do not get it twisted. Like there are some careers out there that are just needed, you know. And you can, as long as you're doing what you want to do and you're cool with that, then I'm cool, you know. But this is for the people that just like suffer every day they wake up, like, you know, they playing this victim, you know, they got this victim mentality. Like if you're not in tech in the next, you know, 5 years, you're not making any money in this country. Saudi Arabia, you know, Dubai is creating 40,000 jobs all wrapped around Web3. Just came out the other day. So they're looking to be innovative in that space.
Yeah.
People are not only going to start to keep their resources home, but they're going to start to circulate the money better amongst the people. You know, even China is trying to create a middle class. I mean, by taking the money from the ultra rich. You know, so they're going through a wealth distribution situation in their country. They're limiting the technology hours for the kids, literally shutting the thing down. You know, they're buying. I mean, if you look at that last, clearly I'm not seeing my damn stories. So I posted some shit. But you know, put my notifications on and also change. That should help, I guess. I don't know. But so I posted the thing from Fanbase, and he talked about like the owners of TikTok in China are now infiltrating Africa, right? And they're using the kids to create content. You know, and you see some of these videos, and it's like disturbing. Like these kids have signs, and they're telling them like how not to ever leave Africa. You know what I'm saying? And never go to China, like that type of stuff. Like it's literally being said. And I'm looking at this thing like, yo, TikTok is like a terrible machine. So when Trump was trying to get rid of that motherfucker, it's because he knew the type of warfare that was going on that thing.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's some establishment shit. That's crazy. And they were paying these kids with like food, and they had them, you know, they had the young girls kind of doing all those, you know, what they do. But the one that was disturbing was telling these kids to like never leave Africa. You know, you go to all parts of the world. There's Africans everywhere, man. Like these are, you know, the minds that come out of that. So they tend to go to different places and study. You even saw it in Ukraine, right? When everybody was trying to evacuate, and what they were doing to the blacks that were there. These kids were students. You know, so I'm like, hold on. So you expect me to go donate some crypto to this shit? Fuck out of here. Oh, way. I had a kid call me from, you know, the basketball league I was in. I had stopped playing for a while, and he didn't call, he emailed. And then he mentioned, he's like, oh, I know you're in real estate. I have a friend who has like a pipeline to, you know, the people coming in from the Ukraine, and they need housing, and they have vouchers. And I'm like, wait, what? They got vouchers already? They just landed.
Just landed.
I was like, man, I'm good. I could have had 1 million vacant apartments. No way. You know what I mean? No fucking way. So it's like we got to start to care for each other a little bit more. And it really is power in numbers. You know, like Twitty was saying, there's only a few. And I've just reposted the lady too. You guys got to follow this lady I've been on. Like she's wild. Like absolutely, you know, the most radical, you know, and she's like Indian, you know, like Hindu type Indian, and her stuff is like powerful, you know, and I'm stepping all the way into mine now. I don't know what the fuck y'all doing, but I'm kind of done being quiet. Of course, we are our own worst enemy, man. We use the wrong words with each other, man. We can't even like walk by each other without like, you know, not saying anything. Like that shit is crazy to me. You know, we got to chill out with that. Just walk right by somebody, look at them. Maybe one thing if you don't see them, but you like, you know, you're looking to see like what the reaction is going to be, man. We got to do something different. I'm not competing with anybody but myself yesterday. and preparing for tomorrow, man. I'm just keeping it light. But y'all don't see these dots being connected, man. I don't know. If XRP is not the reserve currency, then tell me what the fuck we gonna back this against, because there is no gold in this country. And you'd be wild to invade countries right now. Like, that's not even a play.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And nobody's even really on that wartime anymore. Like you said, that, you know, this financial war shit is big, champ. You see this today.
Straight
That's
up.
big. Wars started over this back in the day, but the US can't make no moves right now like that.
You know what is it's crazy.
It's Gaddafi. This was the Saddam Hussein situation. This is all happening right now.
Right now, straight up.
But the technology has bridged it. It bridged the gap. See what I'm saying?
How much gold is it?
Yeah, the tech has really, like, you know, made this thing possible. Yo, Ripple wins that case.
Man, listen.
Damn, computer screen on fire. I told y'all we was coming for some shit today. Yo, y'all, I'm telling you, this the whole story is a movie. We only just on the Ripple situation. Like, you don't even know you don't even know the half.
Man, these dudes super wicked. All in cahoots, all working together in synergy. Just evil, synergistic energy. Everybody working together against the machine. But you can't stop it. The rest of the world already identified it. It's a commodity, it's a currency, it's an asset, digital asset.
They want it to listen. People want that one world currency, man. That's how you dominate.
And that's it.
And you follow the lady, and you come to realize that we all think that, you know, what do you think the number one commodity in the world is right now? In America, we say data, right? It's seeds. It's literally crops. They are controlling the food. Come on, man. Everybody's a food customer. Everybody. From the time you're born, everybody is a food customer. So now you're gonna have guys in the food and drugs. The FDA is backwards, man. You can't regulate both those things. Those are two separate agencies.
Then they still allow it.
So the Bill Gates, the guy that created the computer and the virus for the computer, right, is going to create medicine and food. Come on, guys. I got to be smarter than that. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Stop this guy right in his tracks, man. That shit is dumb. It is absolutely crazy if y'all think that you guys are going to support this guy in any tech city that he's going to build right now, as he's buying up farmers,
farmland,
to feed you like tech meat.
Yeah, they're gonna start serving crickets, man. By y'all playing.
Where's that movie at? And Twitty, drop the podcast name again, so we can have that.
So I'm thinking about that movie Snow Pincher, when they had all the poor people, they had to eat the little bars of crickets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they was on the train. Y'all know that movie?
Nah, I see
every time I think about like real shit done hit the fan, I think about that movie. You know what I'm saying? And like the rich people at the front, they eating all the good stuff, and then in the back is all the people that's doing the work, and they just eating bars of crickets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's real AF. Andy Frisella is the dude's name. Real AF podcast. The white dude, he cuss a lot. He owns a nutrition supplement company. So y'all heard of 75 Hard?
Oh,
y'all heard that challenge? Yeah, the dude that started that.
Yeah, he said big brolic white dude. Yeah.
What was the name?
Snowpiercer.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was a sci-fi joint. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. It's like an Armageddon type movie. You know what I'm saying? The climate had changed, so they was just going around the world on a train the whole time. Everybody lived on a train.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, man. These guys went around the world and just fucking destroyed everything, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck everything up. Yo, Get them things off the exchanges, guys. Please.
Please. Shit about to get nasty, man. Y'all better wait.
And it ain't nothing worse than trying to withdraw some shit that you can't withdraw, man. You just think about like all the like spikes, like when like I got caught like that when what's the last one? The last dog one. Whatever. Not Doge, the one out Shiba. When that one went up, I got blocked out on Coinbase. It was another one I got blocked out on Robinhood. That's the worst. And I mean, we knew it was coming back, but just think, Coinbase, you can't withdraw, and then you see on the news and in the group, Coinbase is insolvent. Then what you gonna do? Be like, damn, I should have paid attention.
Listen, man, that hurt my soul, man. Back in 2018, I was again, I couldn't withdraw. Coinbase, listen, I ain't even gonna go all the way deep into the story, but Coinbase is super trash. I want y'all to understand that. Right? Coinbase always does this. Anytime you have super run-ups on any coin, there's always a complication. There's always a quote unquote scheduled maintenance that occurs on Coinbase. And
they don't have no liquidity.
There's no bread.
There's no money.
There's no money.
What would save them is they go ahead and go accept Tether. You know, if they had Tether, they'll still be around right now.
Yeah, that shit gonna implode. Where we at? I got the joint right here.
Crypto is dead. Come on, man. These guys are crazy, man. I don't even got the time for it. Yes, there are aspects of crypto that's dead for now. You know, the bad actors, that's dead. We probably still have a couple bad actors. You know, that's just how life is. But I don't know, man. I think Champ might have said that XRP is going to be reserve currency. Shit.
Listen, man, you put something in the heart of the financial world and you allow it to be the catalyst to transfer anything of value as efficiently as you send an correspondent email to one person. What do you think is going to happen when all the banks, all the financial institutions around the world turn these spigots on? All the corridors is lit up, all the volume, all the money, everything is flowing through it. And you got something where the transaction fee is damn near non-existent and it's transacting at the speed of light. Come on, man.
What was the price? What was the price set for XRP when it first came out?
10,000. 10,000 per coin. That was when it was made to be its minimal price. Crazy. And when you think about that, like the price cannot be the price it is now. When you're doing transactions, like there's $1 million transaction, right? And there's two countries that need to transact. Somebody needs XRP in the middle of it. What would make more sense? The price of, I'm using this as an example, right? The price of XRP being $1 million or the price of XRP being 1 cent or $1. It would be the higher price, right? Higher price means you get cheaper payments. When you enable cheaper payments, right? The fees and everything is going to be cheaper and you don't need as much volume to transact. You already got a finite amount of XRP that you never ever would need or be able to mint more ever, right? That was created since inception. You can never mint more XRP ever. There's only 49 billion that's readily accessible. And a lot of it's already out with the retail customers. This is in everybody's cold storage wallets, exchanges, whatever, right? Certain institutions already have it, utilizing it. Omizi Go, Transfer Go, you know what I mean? Then you got your Bank of America's, Wells Fargo's, like all of these guys, your Bank of Japan, SBI, Remit. SBI has the most XRP, period. And we're talking institutions. And what are countries? Big ass enterprises, big ass businesses. That's all they are. So when you're talking about transacting, it makes more sense for the price of the coin to be dangerously high because it ain't for us to have. It's for them to have. These guys are transacting all the money in the world.
Let me ask you, listen, everybody, what would be your selling price for XRP? Let me just chime in and don't play off of somebody else. Like, what would be that price to say, you know what, I'm out? Where's everybody's first exit price going to be on it?
And be honest, man. Be honest.
I'm gonna tell you my first exit price.
My first one probably gonna be about $5. I ain't gonna lie. Like, get some off. I mean, I don't know.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
30K.
Then buy the dip after that.
Yeah, 30K solid.
Yo, Tone.
My first price to sell is $100 though. I'm on
Right.
that.
I'll be a little bit more stringent. All right, but
D, where you at, man? I need some more answers. My guy Malcolm, Wolf, everybody chime in. I need some answers.
Look, man, y'all said it was going back to 30 a long time ago. So I'm holding fast. I already saw that number and I'm like, yeah, I like that number.
Oh,
Lord. I'm holding.
Let me get my card, man.
There you go, man. Listen, and we're not paid to do this. We're not influencing y'all. I'm just telling y'all what exists, right? This is the movie. This is why he be so hyped. Like, yo, we gonna have the XRP talk, and we hold it off because this shit is so, it's so intricate. It'll literally take 3 or 4 sessions of Dot Connect to be able to break it down from beginning to today, and you still wouldn't have all the information. There's no way possible I could do that. There's no way possible. In 8 hours, I still can't catch you up from day one. There's no way.
The problem lies in, like, all right, who's gonna cash that XRP out though? On the fiat side. Or you might just have to go stable coin, keep it in a digital wallet, but I don't trust all that, man. I gotta get my shit on land. At that time, it'll just, all the systems would be connected anyway. So you gotta get that thing out of there.
Yo, we're gonna teach y'all like certain exit plans, man. We're gonna have to, you know, me and chop it up. Me and Steve, we're gonna have to have a meeting of the minds, man, and try to help y'all, because y'all gotta have an exit plan. You gotta know what to do when the time comes. You know what I mean? Because I don't want nobody blowing this and you know, you start just cashing out, you go back to fiat for what? You know what I mean? When you already know the dollar is dwindling, right? So you gotta have a plan. You gotta know what to do with it.
This is, I mean, guys, there's gonna be a lot of products tied to all these blockchains and ledgers and things. So, you know, there's gonna be a bridge between, you know, buying property, how you buy property. So, you know, when you're in the right coins, you're invested good. I'm not looking to really do a 1-for-1. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't even be like, I mean, let's be honest, if XRP's, you know, 50,000 at a 30 cents entry, like, just think about the amount of leverage and power you have in that. It's, you know, it's gotta go to the right places.
And then,
yeah, that shit is on KuCoin, guys. They got a great little bag over there.
and I'm about to tell you right now, I'm logging into my Ledger Live. Logging into my
You
Ledger
can buy
Live.
it right on Ledger Live. What they
Yeah.
what's, all right, I learned something today.
Hash pack. So I think
I'm playing too much on that Ledger though, man.
I keep it super light. Store them and keep it pushing. You know
Let me know how the sale goes. Let me know who does the sale first, because I ain't gonna be the guy doing that one. I'm buying mine on KuCoin.
So receive HBAR.
Or you can stop the recording. Sound off on the end.
Okay. All right, let me end this. Let me end this joint.
Now don't end it. Just close out the you know,
recording.
No, don't close it out. Just close it out with your verbalize the closing, so they can come see us next week, right?
Oh yeah.
I got another call to run to, man. It was good times, man. Appreciate y'all.
No doubt.
See you later.
Yo, we're gonna get with y'all next week. You know, we always gonna be here. You know what I mean? Every Wednesday. Y'all stay tuned, man. Episode 5. We coming live. It's gonna keep getting better and better, bigger and bigger. The biggest. See y'all next week.
But we staying on, so go ahead and you